have cleaned up the warriors. They're going into the last remnants of the Chaos troops in this flank, murdering that chariot and the marauders. The other Hellpit abominations cleaning up the remaining marauders, and in the background the red ogres have just devastated everything in their path. There's no chaos left on that side, so we've got a big hole just opened up in the chaos area in this couple of tables. Next photo, wasn't actually so happy with this. The Skaven slaves unit with all the assassins, the 7 assassins, are now in combat with a unit of 20 Chaos Warriors and a guy on a Juggernaut. Now, what happened here is that the one Skaven assassin holding the Weeping Blade and a Potion of Strength drank that and challenged him. Of course, the Chaos Lord, warrior, Chaos dude, Exalted, having to accept with the Ogre Blade, actually being killed just with the Weeping Blade. Although he had a good armor save against the hits, he was actually destroyed in the end, and the Skaven assassins, of course, killing a lot of Chaos Warriors and dodging the rest of their attacks. But what was really terrible about this is that the Chaos Warriors had enough attacks around the sides of the points where there were only slaves and not assassins, that they managed to kill enough guys to actually swing the combat back in their favor. And because the Demon Prince behind the building had cast Pandemonium, there wasn't any leadership on the general nearby. So this caused the Skaven slaves to lose the combat, and the Chaos Warriors managed to win and wipe out all the assassins as well. So a huge, big blob of points gone down the drain, and the Skaven troops could have really have used those assassins there. So I think that's big mistake number one, having this particular combat set up here. But, losses are losses, and there are plenty of other points of interest to go later on in the game. And, of course, there's a chariot around the back getting ready to fight against those red ogres, but it's not going to last long. Next image, finally, we have the big central combat involving the 65 Stormvermin with Hatred against the 40 Chaos Warriors. I wasn't present to witness the dice rolling for this one. I was viewing something else, but what actually happened is that... let's have a think. Yes, what actually happened is that the Chaos Warriors predictably murdered most of the Stormvermin, of course failing a break test, even with the BSB nearby. Probably needed a double one, didn't go well, and I think what happened was for the fleeing past through their friends, they rolled a double one, whereas the Chaos Warriors rolled a double six. So although we were hoping for the unit to bounce back behind a couple of other guys and rally, and then come in to help out later on, it just wasn't the case. And this is one of the more decisive combats in the center of the field, with a whole bunch of Stormvermin being viciously run down. Got to mention that even though those Chaos Warriors in the background have hand weapons shields, they've got Mark of Khorne, interestingly enough. Normally you'd have Tzeentch, but we've given them Khorne for this game. And to the left of that, there's a unit of Chaos Chosen fighting against giant rats. Next photo, the battle ensues here with Sigvald, as we call him. Actually, I'm going to stop calling him Sigvald because he's just Exalted with a Rending Sword, as we know. We've got the Hell Cannon into the flank of the Plague Monks now, but still, because they're unbreakable, it's taking turn after turn for the Chaos Warriors and Marauders to chew through this, and eventually they've killed the Plague Priest and hacking away at the furnace itself. Eventually they're going to take it down, but it's a long road, and they're going to be stalled. But the real question is, what are the Skaven forces going to do after this big failsafe has been destroyed and run down? Next photo, the guy with the Fellblade in combat with 2 units of Chaos Warriors now, and this time he does inflict like 14 wounds on the champion or something ridiculous. But predictably, because there are so many Chaos Warriors around here against just clan rats or slaves or whatever it is, the Skaven just get murdered here, and of course the Warlord is stomped underfoot. So unfortunate that he didn't get to take any characters with him or get into combat with the dragon. But that's the Chaos forces being nice and clinical, nice and brutal, and just getting rid of the Skaven here in a big way. This is in between the left-hand objective for the Chaos and in between the buildings. So these guys will now be able to head around towards the building. Next photo, quite a serious amount of carnage going next to that little event, because there's about 20 or 30 Plague Censer Bearers in combat with the Dragon Ogres, and the Manticore Chaos Lord has moved in as well. And the Censer Bearers just lashing out, doing huge sinister damage on those Dragon Ogres, even though they've got 4 wounds each, with the hatred and frenzy and the flails and everything going off. A lot of carnage. Next photo along, here's where the real serious damage is happening with the Chaos packing their punches. The Shaggoth and the Giant and the Dragon in all against the Rat Ogres, inflicting serious casualties. But by the time they got to the Giant's attacks, he actually rolled the Yell and Brawl, which was the one that the Chaos players wanted the least, because it meant the combat ended. And a few of these models didn't get to do their strike back, but the end result was the same. The Rat Ogres were just completely butchered, and this objective looks like it's well in the hands of Chaos now. Of course, the Brass Orb guy being trampled by the Chaos Knights, and the Chaos Knights moving around as well. So there's a lot of heavy stuff, and the Skaven just don't have enough shooting to deal with it all. Next image, the lone Dragon Ogre romping over the bridge here. The slaves and the clan rats have done a great job of actually fending off the marauders on horseback. They managed to deal to that, and of course the big unit of Jezzails being screened by the giant rats. Really nice stuff here, and the shooting able to pick off the Dragon Ogre, and more stuff in the background, which is quite good. Next photo, on the extreme opposite flank, the Chaos Knights moving in, whittled down to half their size from those Warp Lightning shots, and the Gutter Runners, the Night Runners just getting in the way, just blocking them, just making sure that these Chaos Knights having no real effect on the game. It's the objectives closer inland which are really taking effect. They've scared off some Warhounds in the background as well. So this looks nice and comfortable for the Skaven over here. Next photo, behind enemy lines, the Gutter Runners just continuing to move forward, spraying poison shots as much as they can. They are not really getting a lot of targets at this point, because everything else is just about in combat. So just shooting at Knights, shooting at Chaos Warriors, trying to pick off whatever kills they can, to try and help out in whatever way they can. Next image, again, just going back to this other flank, we've got the Demon Prince leaving his cover from the building now and coming out, now that there's a forest in between him and one of the Warp Lightning Cannons, and the other Warp Lightning Cannon, I think, has exploded, misfired, and of course the Plague Furnace having dealt with one of the last Marauder Horsemen, so it'll be free to move around. And the Chaos BSB number 3 over there, we've actually got little labels, as you guys have been seeing throughout the photos, just reminding us which BSB has which gear, because there are 4 BSBs per side, just because I didn't want, any side to have advantage, well, for the Chaos to have advantage just from their leadership, given the size of the board so big, so I wanted to spread out the leadership bubbles a bit more like it would be in a normal game. Next photo, although the Chaos Warriors in this unit and the Juggernaut guy have actually managed to beat off the Skaven Assassins, they're now in combat with the whatchamacallits, the Plague Monks. And sorry, I made a mistake with my commentary earlier. I told you guys that the Assassins with the Weeping Blade did actually take out the guy on the Juggernaut. Not actually true. I actually realized that he didn't actually get killed until later. We'll tell you about that a bit later, but the Assassin didn't actually penetrate his armor, so sorry about that misreport. But the Plague Monks with the Plague Banner going off now, doing some serious damage to these Chaos Warriors. Not, of course, winning the combat, but withering them down and allowing the slaves and other clan rats to creep in later on and actually finish them off. That's what Skaven are all about, withering the enemy until there's just a few of them left to throw yet another wave of rats over them and kill them. Next photo, Chaos Knights fighting for the life over here, crushing a couple of units, but there's just too many rats for them to deal with. They are not really going to be able to get into any worthy opponents on the side of the field, so that's what's happening there. Next photo, the Dragon still dishing more pain into the Rat Ogres. I think this has gone into a second round now. The Chaos Knights have thundered in from reserve and actually getting stuck in as well. So this is pretty much finishing off any Skaven opposition, and soon these monstrous creatures will be left in search of fresh targets. Next up, as you can see, the brutal unit of 40 Chaos Warriors. Man, this is just something like, it's like out of the big red rulebook that you guys have got now for 8th edition, where they're actually talking about that big massive battle in the end of the rulebook, where the Chaos troops are storming that Empire Castle, and there are like blocks of 40 Chaos Warriors, and you're like, man, nobody would ever really have a real game involving that many guys in one unit. Well, look, we are right here. This is living evidence of that, and it's crazy. There's a unit of 30 Plague Monks on their own up against these Chaos Warriors. The Plague Monks are not going to last for long, and the Storm Vermin just behind them, not actually in contact. So eventually the Khorne Warriors here are going to be ushered into combat with the Bell, and that hopefully should keep them in place with the Unbreakableness for a while. And of course the Grey Seer, well protected with his 4+ ward save, Scam, Rival Hide, Talisman, should hold them up for a little while at least. Going to the next picture, we have got more battle. The Chaos are streaming over their objective now. Shaggoth and Knights are just jumping over here. The Manticore is moving in with the Plague Censer Bearers and still fighting that one out. And of course the Chaos Warriors just turning around and helping them out as well. So that's going to be a lot of death and carnage there. The Dragon Ogres getting ripped apart there, but eventually the Censer Bearers are probably going to go down against being charged from all three sides. But of course the Skaven have got many more rats up in reserve, as you'd expect. So that should hopefully, for the Skaven side's perspective, bog these guys down long enough, and hopefully will prevent them from getting into the tower in the end of the turn, because they've got this objective wrapped up. The Skaven have got the other objective wrapped up down the other end, and it's going to all come around to the centre. Next photo, we've got the other flank, where really all of the Chaos forces have been wiped out in that the vicinity of the objective. So we've got 2 Hellpit Abominations able to move around now and go for the building, but it's going to take them a long time to get there. We're in turn 3 now, and it's going to take us another 3 turns to sort of waltz away around the other side. The Rat Ogres may be able to do it. They'll unfortunately be blocked by the Chariot for a short while, but if they can, up their movement speed enough to get across, that should be something. Next image, the Plague Censer Bearers have wiped out all but one of the Dragon Ogres. The Chaos Lord on the Manticore has lost his Manticore, so that's him standing on the hill by himself. And the Plague Censer Bearers, you can see in the top right of the photo, are actually casualties being removed from this combat. So we're down to about 12 of them now. But they have really been hated on the enemy, just wailing on them with those censers. And of course, a toughness test for everybody. Next image, the Hell Cannon and 2 blocks of Chaos Infantry in this very important combat have whittled down the Plague Monks to just about 7 or 8 guys now, and the character's dead. So all they need to do is just kill the Censer Bearer itself, Censer Ball itself, and they'll be on and able to start assaulting the building, and that's when the real serious, meaningful stuff's going to come into play. Next image, the Knights are being again redirected by the Night Runners as the Plague Furnace on the other side of the field mashes into the remaining Chariot and Marauder unit with help of Abomination. So that's really going to go quite well. If they overrun here, as they're probably going to with their Frenzy, the Chaos Warriors are going to be able to rear charge them, or at least flank charge them. So that's going to hold them up for a while. But with all the Skaven backing them up, I don't think the Chaos are going to take this at all. Next photo shows you a bit more of a closer view of that. One of the Hellpit Abominations has finally been destroyed and has left behind 3 rat swarms, which we've used Rat Ogre models to represent. So those Rat Ogres there in combat with the Marauders are actually rat swarms, and the Hellpit Abomination locking them in place to the left as well. But the furnace here, what's going to happen is going to destroy the Chariot and then overrun into the side of the Marauders and completely obliterate them. So that's a nice little roundup from this Skaven side here. Next image, the Skaven, I think turn 3, turn around and get moving towards the tower, because they can see in the distance that the Warpstone tower is in danger. And this Chariot just in the way of the Ogres as expected, but the Chariot definitely won't last very long. The Doomwheel and Vermin Lord, and remaining Hellpit Abominations clattering their way over, but they are going to need to wade through a lot of Chaos Warriors as well, and of course the Chosen. Next image, the Chaos Warrior is just getting much closer to the bell here. The bell moving up just so that it's able to redirect the Chaos Warriors after they win the combat, and trying to support them with some spells. But with a lot of scrolls, well, not so much a lot of scrolls, but a lot of dispel dice either side, it's hard to get a lot of magic off. And what we decided to do, if I didn't mention to you guys before, is resolve the magic in the following way. One team rolls a pair of dice, as you normally would for the magic phase, and gets that number of power dice, and the defending team gets the highest dice rolled out of the two. Then you rinse and repeat that a second time, so a second batch of 2 dice are rolled, and those totals are added up. So, for example, Team Skaven rolls a 4 and a 3, they get 7, Chaos gets 4. Then they roll a 6 and a 1. Well, the Skaven players get another 6. Skaven players get another 7, while the Chaos players get another 6. So it ends up being such that the Chaos players have 10 dispel dice, whereas the Skaven players would have had 14. Plus channels, and the Skaven players had about 6 to 8 channels, whereas the Chaos players consistently had 4 channels. There's a Sorcerer Lord of Shadows,